Before understanding issues surrounding single-use plastic, you must first understand what it is. According to NRDC, quote, single-use plastics are goods that are made primarily from fossil fuel-based chemicals, petrochemicals, and are meant to be disposed of right after use, often in mere minutes. Examples of these single-use plastics include plastic shopping bags, straws, bottles, and wrappers. The introduction of plastic began in 1869 when John Wesley Hyatt created the first synthetic polymer after trying to provide an alternative to ivory. In fact, a New York firm offered $10,000 for the person who would find the first substitute. From there, Leo Baekeland, in 1907, invented Bakelite, the first fully synthetic plastic, meaning it contained no molecules found in nature. Bakelite was not only a good insulator, it was also durable, heat-resistant, and unlike celluloid, ideally suited for mechanical mass production. The use of plastics became extremely popular in the 1970s as an alternative to glass and paper, since plastic was cheaper to make and much more durable. Not to mention, it is estimated that since the 1950s, 8.3 billion metric tons of plastic have been produced, with half of it being within the last 15 years alone. While the invention and use of plastic dramatically changed our lives, it also changed the lives of thousands of sea creatures around the world. Plastic is a synthetic organic polymer not easily broken down by weathering elements. In fact, plastic fragments are considered to be quite stable and highly durable, and thus do not break down naturally like paper or cotton. This means, according to Science Advances, the only way to permanently eliminate plastic waste is by destructive thermal treatment, such as combustion or pyrolysis. Thus, near-permanent contamination of the natural environment with plastic waste is a growing concern. The chemicals found in single-use plastics can be extremely harmful to mammals and humans alike. The Environmental Health Perspectives conducted a study about endocrine chemicals, the chemicals found in plastic, and saw some alarming results. When seen in mammals, quote, chemicals having EA can produce many health-related problems, such as early puberty in females, reduced sperm counts, altered functions of reproductive organs, obesity, altered sex-specific behaviors, and increased rates of some breast, ovarian, testicular, and prostate cancers. Many of these effects observed in mammals are also expected to be produced in humans, because basic endocrine mechanisms have been highly conserved across all classes of vertebrates. This is alarming considering humans are constantly being exposed to these chemicals without the knowledge of the harm they are causing. Science Advances also details the ever-growing issue of pollution in our oceans. They state plastic debris have been found in all major ocean basins, with an estimated 4 to 12 million metric tons of plastic waste generated on land entering the marine environment in 2010 alone. That means that if there is not a solution found soon, all oceans can become so overrun with plastics that there are more plastic particles than fish and marine life. Another troubling sign is that high concentrations of floating plastic debris have been reported in remote areas of the ocean, increasing concern about the accumulation of plastic litter on the ocean surface. It is hard to know exactly how much plastic debris is in the ocean, since the plastic can be either broken down into small particles or ingested by marine life and surrounding animals. Since plastic can take hundreds to thousands of years to break down, it heavily affects the lives of marine animals that swim among the trash. There are one of two things that will happen should a marine animal eat the plastic waste in the ocean. The most common result of eating plastic is their death. If a particular species consumes a large amount of plastic, this will affect the reproduction of that species and lead to its decline in existence. If they do not die, the marine animal will survive, but carry a deadly amount of toxins in their body. This is important to know since, if they are part of the food chain, then biomagnification causes the accumulation and display of harmful effects on the human body. Hence, what we inadvertently dump into the environment comes back to harm us in a much more concentrated form. This means that we must become more aware of the trash we are dumping in the ocean. While single-use plastics come with a multitude of issues, it should be noted that they do currently hold an important role in some people's lives. For example, a plastic straw can help those who currently have developmental issues that impact their ability to use fine motor skills. Another helpful use of plastic is disposable gloves. These are extremely important for sanitation reasons and are relied heavily on, especially in hospitals when treating thousands of patients. While it is very well known that these single-use plastics are harming our environment more and more, it should be noted that there are some benefits of using them. As of right now, many states have taken individual measures to help reduce their use of plastic. For starters, a town in my area, home to over 5 different shopping centers, began this January barring stores from using plastic shopping bags and now offer reusable bags or paper bags as an alternative. Other states have also followed suit and began either banning bags or banning single-use plastics altogether. Many oceanside towns have also begun using paper straws rather than plastics in their restaurant. This is because should the paper end up in the ocean, it will be able to be broken down by the elements and poses a much smaller threat to marine and ocean life. While they are not the largest contributor to the plastic issue, it is an easy way to help. They are basically impossible to recycle, and there's a lot of straws being used and subsequently thrown away every day. Another major change has been the use of reusable water bottles produced by companies like Yeti and Nalgene, and the use of metal straws being sold along these products. Finally, some states have implemented a single-use plastic tax that would charge the person a small fee for each plastic bag they use. This has helped to reduce the number of plastic bags used, however, has been met with some backlash and garnered lawsuits from public plastic industries. While it is important for everyday people to do their part, the true turning point will come when large corporations stop using single-use plastics. According to an audit by #BreakFreeFromPlastic, they found that Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Nestle products were found the most on the shorelines. One great way to help solve this issue would be the introduction of policies such as bottle bill laws. Bottle bill laws would begin a system in which customers would receive money back for each plastic bottle they recycled. The customer would bring the bottle to, quote, the retail store, to a redemption center, or to a reverse vending machine in order to get their money. Recycling must also be improved upon majorly, since it is estimated that less than 10% of plastics are currently recycled. This is because recycling is not as easy as people think. Plastics must be correctly separated in order to be recycled. There are 7 different types of plastics, and the customer must correctly identify the type and prepare the plastic for recycling. If even one step is done incorrectly, the plastic and other plastics found in the bag will have to be thrown in a landfill. Frankly, this is unacceptable, and it is up to the government to not only provide the correct receptacles for recycling, but must educate people on how to do it. Overall, our dependence on single-use plastics must cease in order to stop the problem. The creation of biodegradable materials to replace single-use plastics should be placed very high on the list of things to do. This is because we must find an alternative that is sufficient to replace single-use plastics before it is too late.